What I do is I just go on Facebook and I target, women. Okay, you know how many people are trying to sell to all those women with clothing? Millions. Your cost per conversion is going to be so high that you're not even going to make a profit if you make a sale. So what you need to do is actually selling clothes on Shopify. So selling clothing online in a Shopify store, WooCommerce store, WordPress, it doesn't matter the platform, but in this video, we're gonna stick to Shopify, but it's gonna help you even though you're selling on any other platform. Is very, very hard, but you can make a ton of money if you know exactly the marketing strategy that you should take depending on your market and audience. And that's exactly what I'm gonna show you in this video. Why? Because I've coached a ton of people that have not made a single sale or have a lot of traffic to their online store, specifically clothing, and not make a single sale. But this video is gonna help you even if you're not selling clothing specifically, because I'm gonna show you 3 tips and strategies based on Mr. Beast's clothing store that's making millions of dollars, so you could sell clothing on Shopify like Mr. Beast. So like I said, I have a lot of students, a lot of people that I've coached before, and they would get a lot of traffic, even add to carts, a lot of abandoned checkouts, but not a single sale. And then after doing the modifications and strategy and applying a unique strategy that I'm going to show you in this video with the 3 tips, they've changed their store around and their marketing strategy around. So that's what we're going to do in this video. So stick around because I'm going to show you 3 tips based on Mr. Beast that you should copy to sell clothes on Shopify like Mr. Beast. All right, so before I start the video, make sure you check the description because I'm gonna leave a 14-day free Shopify trial to Shopify. So in that case, if you use that link, I'm gonna give you a free video audit and also a marketing strategy based on your store. So that's gonna be completely free. The only thing you have to do is create your store through that link. And once you finish your store, just DM me your store and I'll review it and audit it for free. Through the video, you're gonna get the idea, this is crucial, which is you need to find your target audience, okay? You need to find your buyer persona, and we're gonna stick to that because I'm gonna explain a little bit more later. But first of all, let's see the clothing, and we can see that the pictures are symmetrical. That's a must on every store. So I see a lot of stores that I review and they send me their stores and they have different pictures. So one's a square, the other one's a rectangular, one is a plain t-shirt with a background, the other one is horizontal, it has a person, and it's really, really awkward. So it's not like someone can actually feel comfortable with a store that is all over the place. So a tip that you should take away from Mr. Beast so you can sell clothing like him on Shopify is find always symmetry on your product images, all right? And mostly on your homepage. So obviously this is a great banner. If you don't know how to design a good banner, well, this is a great banner. Use Fiverr. Contact someone. It could cost you like $5 if you don't know how to design. You could do it on Canva, but it's gonna make a difference because the first impression is crucial, all right? First impression is crucial on an online store. It makes a difference between someone just checking your store for 2 seconds and leaving and someone actually going to your store and watching your clothing and even having the chance to convince them to actually buy your products, okay? So now let's see a product of Mr. Beast, and this is something you should take away. I always say that I hate when in the product description or the product images, you only have products of the t-shirt in this case, or the clothing. It could be bikinis, it could be for kids, for babies, clothing in general, or even any product. You need, and mostly selling clothes on Shopify, a picture of someone using the product because that's what people buy, okay? Remember this, please, because this is something that a lot of people that I coach don't understand until I tell them, okay? So you're getting a lot of information that you probably already heard of before, but now I'm gonna explain the background and why you should actually consider this super important, okay? So you stick with this, and when you create your Shopify store, you make the modifications. You don't stick to actually, a plain t-shirt, okay? So in this case, for example, Look at what Mr. Beast is doing, all right? He's not even just putting a picture of someone using it. He's actually making a video because he knows, like Mr. Beast knows that people don't buy clothing. They buy experience. They buy, how it feels, how it looks, how the guy's like chilling. So when I buy a clothing from Mr. Beast, I'm not just only checking this clothing. I'm like, okay, that's how it looks. Oh, I'm sorry. This one, like how it looks. Okay, a plain sheet. I'm not going to buy it because of this one. Maybe if I'm a big follower of Mr. Beast, okay, but one, you're not Mr. Beast. That's what you need to understand. Like, people are not just going to buy from your store just because it is your store. That's what people think a lot. There's millions of clothing stores online. Remember this. There's millions of clothing stores. You need to do something that makes your store stand out. And that probably is going to be having a match between your clothing and the experience and your audience. So you can't just be generals. That's another point we're going to get into. But I'm going to explain it a little bit right now. So what do you mean, Andre, you can't be general? What do you mean? I can't sell to everyone clothing? No, that's one of the major things why you're not making sales, because you're trying to sell to everyone, and that's not going to work. Why? Try to sell to everyone, you're not going to reach nobody. All right, Mr. Beast probably is selling to a bigger audience because he has millions of subscribers. Obviously, you're not going to compare yourself to Mr. Beast, but I want to make a point here. Okay, so I always say never only put a clothing, just a plain t-shirt on your product description. And look what Mr. Beast is doing, having all the audience. He's investing a little bit more. Obviously, he has the money to do it, but to put a video, to sell even the experience on a higher level. So number one, sell the experience on your product description and your product images. Take notes, because if you don't see the experience you want to sell, nobody's going to buy. Okay, I guarantee you nobody is going to buy. I don't want to be harsh, but I hate when people are like, oh, Andre, I don't know why my store is not selling. I go to the stores like, what is the reason to sell? I'm not going to buy a plain t-shirt with a design and that's it. I want to feel, someone doesn't buy $20 or $30 on a store just because they like the design. That's probably 1% of people. But if you don't want 1% of people, you want the majority of the people that are probably going to buy because they like the experience you're selling them. In this case, if I see the person, if I see this dude, I'm going to be like, oh, he looks good. I like his swag, like his style. I'm going to try to buy that clothes because I want to look like him. I want to be as cool. I mean, I like his style. But imagine Mr. Beast is doing this and you're not even Mr. Beast. And you're trying to just sell clothing with a plain t-shirt like this. Imagine, you're not even Mr. Beast. Comment down below, I'm not Mr. Beast. And I'm probably going to give a coaching call. But comment down below, by the way, guys, your clothing store or any Shopify store, and I'll make the next video a review store on every store that I can comment, probably 5 top stores. But it's going to help you a lot. So it's going to be like a free coaching call on your store. So just comment down below your link of your Shopify store and I'll make a new video reviewing your store, right? So another thing, so that's number one, sell the experience. Number two, add reviews. That's a must. Okay, again, you're not Mr. Beast selling clothing on Shopify, but you don't have reviews and Mr. Beast does. Like, that doesn't make sense, all right? So Mr. Beast knows this. So he adds reviews. You can add this on Shopify easily with Lux reviews, Ali reviews. It's gonna help a lot. So they're gonna add a lot of reviews, and this is great because why? Because people, when they see this, it's like, okay, it's a community. So number two, a tip that I'm gonna show you, number one, sell the experience. Number two, take notes, please, build a community, an inside community on your online store and in general on your e-commerce and your social media platforms. So Andre, how do I build a community? Like, okay, that sounds cool, but how do I build a community? First of all, with the reviews and obviously adding pictures of people. That, for example, it says that transaction went off, hidden the package, the t-shirt very comfortable, good content, charity work. Okay, so also that's a second thing I'm gonna show you in this video. In the number two tip is you can also add a mission to your store. So something that you could do is, for example, if you niche down to selling clothing with a designer, for example, sea turtles, and you actually mark it down to people that like sea turtles. So pay attention to this. You can actually add on Shopify. There's a lot of apps that let you add like commissions for every, or a percentage of your sales to this purpose, with this mission to, like, for example, save turtles. So you're gonna make people also feel part of the community and for a purpose. So that's gonna incentive people like to buy because they're gonna help sea turtles if they're obviously on that niche. So that's the importance of also being in a niche, but that's the point here. So let's just see what more products, but First of all, what I want you to take away from this video in this part of the number 2 tip is build a community that's gonna help people actually feel part of something. So how do you do this? You can actually add pictures from AliExpress if you're selling pictures from AliExpress. If you're doing like your own design, own production on China or whatever, but you're doing on clothing on Shopify, you can just add the pictures of your own clients or people that you wanna like give them so they can actually take pictures and add them as reviews, as customer reviews, and add a story. People love storytelling. All right. So in this case, for example, I love this picture because you don't only see like a couple super happy with the clothing, but you actually see like they're having fun, they're building an experience. So Mr. Beast's clothing is not just like a plain t-shirt. It's like part of someone's story. So making people feel like, okay, I want to make my story too and want to make Mr. Beast part of the story is what's key on Mr. Beast selling a lot of products. Besides obviously the obvious, which is he has a lot of audience and a lot of views. So that's going to make sales inevitable. But so let's see another product that I want to show you right here. And again, okay, reviews, and that's going to be crucial. Again, a lot of reviews, a lot of products. Again, a video selling the experience. Like, again, you're not Mr. Beast and you think that with a plain t-shirt like this on your clothing store, people are going to buy. People don't buy clothing. Again, I repeat, please don't sell, like, don't be like, okay, why am I not selling why am I not getting sales? Or why am I getting a ton of traffic on my clothing store and not getting a single sale? Probably because your clothing look like this and there's no reason for me to buy it. Like, I have thousands of options. If I have thousands of options to buy, what makes your option, you know, the best? And probably in this case is because I love this dude's like face and expression, for example, and he looks happy. I want happiness. That's a better reason than a cool design. So this design goes like in a second. It's just something secondary, but I still add it to the reason why I want to buy it. Okay, so same, a lot of things, a lot of reviews, etc. So that's going to be crucial to everything. So I want to stop right here and explain why I said you need an audience, you need to niche down. So I have Mr. Beast, that's what it is. Like, by the way, if someone's like, is that the same store? Yeah, it is the same store. I'm on The Office, but what I want to say is that don't try to sell to everyone, try to niche down. So that's going to help you with your targeting on Facebook, with your audience insights. Also, it's going to help you to know how to brand your store, which is really important. Why? Because, for example, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you, for example, audiences you could sell instead of trying to sell clothing to everyone. So you can actually target on Facebook really easier, on TikTok, on any platform. Okay, so imagine I'm selling clothing with a random design. Okay, and then what I do is I just go on Facebook and I target, you know, women. Okay, you know how many people are trying to sell to all those women with clothing? Millions. Your cost per conversion is going to be so high that you're not even going to make a profit if you make a sale. So what you need to do is actually niche down, narrow down your audience to, for example, pregnant moms. And there's a lot of clothing you can sell on AliExpress for pregnant moms. What if I niche down my clothing to, for example, a specific dogs, and then narrow down by breeds and try to sell breeds and target on Facebook? What if I do baby clothing? What if I do, for example, it's a niche a little bit more down, but what if I do clothing for twins? What if I do clothing for little kids? What if I do clothing for, I don't know, anything, but I create a brand based on that. So, for example, I can find, as I said, sea turtles. And I do a lot of branding, a lot of accessories, even clothing, even why? That's going to help you niche down my targeting, and that's going to help me not do a broad Facebook ad targeting, which is not targeting anyone. Okay, so when you sell clothing, have a buyer persona. You need to imagine that person. Now, something else that I would recommend if you're trying to sell clothing on Shopify and you don't know where to start and make sales, is create an ambassador program. Okay, you can do this with a lot of apps. There's Secom app, there's GoApp Pro. So Andre, what is an ambassador program? How does this work? So basically it's an app. Just go to Shopify. You can create an app so that when people, then you go, okay, you install the app, you go to influencer like TikTok or Instagram influencers and you reach them, okay, and you tell them, I'm gonna give you a unique link, just like the affiliate link. I'm telling you to create your Shopify store to get a free audit, so I can actually help you with your marketing strategy based on your store and your audience. Same thing, you can actually reach to people and give them unique affiliate links and make them ambassadors, so they actually get a commission for every single sale they make to your store. So they become partners, ambassadors, affiliates, whatever you want to call them, and then they actually can promote your products, your store, on their YouTube videos, on their Instagram posts, on their Instagram stories, on their TikTok. So okay, Andre, now is there a way I should do this? Like, is there a better way? Yes. When you have a targeted audience and your branding is based on a specific niche that is like more specific, for example, on babies, moms, dogs, kids, it's easier to reach out to influencers that are gonna have a match with your branding or purpose. Imagine you were selling, for example, to sea turtles. That's just an example I got up. But there's a lot of clothing, for example, sea accessories, whatever, t-shirts, okay? And then you go in and you reach people that are, again, are pro saving animals, all right? Save sea turtles, save dolphins, save any animal or in general. So that person is gonna have a better match. And imagine you reach that person out, okay? You reach them and you're like, by the way, you're not only gonna make money, but our Shopify store and our clothing store has a policy that for every sale, we donate 5% to save sea turtles or save animals. So that person is gonna even feel better that she is partnering up and becoming an ambassador of a store that she believes in, all right? So she has a mission that relies, that it has that is as same as this store. So this is a strategy that I hope you understand, because it's gonna help the branding in general, and there's a lot of tips. So if you watch this video in general. Why? Because this video is I'm saying a lot of things that I think, but it's gonna help you if you watch it, because it's gonna understand. So when you create your store, you're gonna be like, okay, Andre, oh yeah, I need to base my store in a branded audience or a targeted audience. I need to know my buyer persona. So your buyer persona is basically a person that is mostly like the average of person that would buy in your store. For example, I would say like a girl that loves, I don't know, like surfing, or a stay-home mom. So I know my buyer persona, or a mom that has kids, because obviously your buyer persona, if you sell kids, it's not the kid, it's the mom, but obviously you're gonna focus the experience to the mom on what the mom wants to the kid, right? Wants their kids to wear, their newborn babies, even their dogs, whatever. So that's exactly what you need to do. Now, something you can learn from Mr. Beast also is that he launched a limited edition t-shirt last week for only 48 hours, okay? So anyone can actually buy from Mr. Beast like in any day of the year, any second, but still he does a limited edition available for 48 hours. So this is something you could copy, and you can actually make also limited edition t-shirts or limited edition clothing. So in that case, when you build the brand, people actually want to buy it because they feel like they have something unique. So that's something that you can also buy, and there's also scarcity in the video, okay? In the limited edition website. Okay, so that's something you can also learn. So okay, so another thing I want to show you from Mr. Beast's clothing store, okay, is that you see that their colors are not over the place, right? You see a palette of colors that are mostly three: this green, this blue, and this pink, okay? And that's all the checkout buttons. Everything is just based on those three colors. You don't see nothing too intense, no red, too intense. Obviously, you're not gonna see that on Mr. Beast, because he's obviously knows how to market, how to brand. He obviously has a team behind them. So you need to copy a store like this, okay? And if you're not Mr. Beast, by the way, I would prefer that the images right here, instead of a plain t-shirt, you add the people wearing it, but symmetric pictures, okay? So these are three things, and obviously right here, another thing I want to show you, okay, before I forget, another thing I want to show you, and you can learn from Mr. Beast, is that he adds context, okay? So for example, he was using the limited edition based on this Netflix series. So you can actually adapt to trends to actually promote and match your targeting your marketing strategy. So you don't have to change what you're selling, but you can actually, match it up if it makes sense. Obviously, if it makes sense with your marketing, your audience, and your clothing, to actually, show a marketing offer, a marketing strategy that's going to grab people's attention on TikTok, so you can match a trend. So this is the final strategy that I'm going to show you. The final thing, it's really, really important nowadays with TikTok. Okay, so I'm gonna show you something that you could really do organically, but you could also pay your influencers and your ambassadors to do. So there's a lot of trends on TikTok, right? So what if you actually create a whole list of TikTok for your Shopify clothing store, and you just make people that, wear their clothing and make the TikTok dance that's trending, or the TikTok trend in general. So you're gonna make your video viral because of the trend, not because of your clothing. But those eyeballs, because of the trend, that's gonna get your video viral. Maybe not every video, maybe 1 in 20, 1 in 10 videos, but that video, if you get it viral because of that song that's trending on TikTok, or that trend, that dance, you're gonna get people to get to your products, their eyeballs to your products, to your clothing. Okay, so that's gonna help you a ton, because that's gonna make people actually watch your clothing, get a lot of traffic, and then you can actually do retargeting with the pixel. You need to have the pixel installed on your Shopify store. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. You grab these 3 to 5 tips and strategies, and you get the conclusion why you're not making sales, why you're not getting traffic, because you're probably too general. You don't have a good symmetric store. You don't have a target audience. You don't have a clear buyer persona. You're not selling to specific targeting interests on Facebook, and you're not using trends also. Besides, you're not piggyback riding on people's brands. Okay, so that's what you need to do. If you're really small, you probably don't know even much about targeting, you can piggyback on other people's brand, and this is going to be way easier if you actually have a specific niche, so you can actually match that specific influencer's niche also, and it's going to make sense for that influencers to actually market your store. So this is how to sell clothes on Shopify and actually make money. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm a marketing specialist, so I have a lot of e-commerce stores, and I own a digital marketing agency. So I really wanted to share you guys with this information. By the way, I'm from South America. That's why I have a little bit of accent, but my English is pretty good, I think. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like the video, subscribe, and make sure you comment down below your Shopify store if you want me to review it. And if you haven't created your store, you want to change it, there's going to be a 14-day free Shopify trial that's going to include a video audit. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.